site that we launched here recently with Univertical. And the second is talk about Twitter Spaces, which I'm actually experimenting with at the moment. And I'll go into this kind of Clubhouse-like tool that Twitter's launched and my availability for it now on a mobile device. I keep pointing my mobile device. You couldn't see it. There it is. So let's talk about those two today. First, let's dive into the Asdale on board. I'm sorry, the Univertical website. And it's always super important for a company that does business globally to consider the implications of their website and how it's functioning or not functioning well as a communication tool or landing place. People that have questions, people doing searches, can they find it? What do they find when they get there? All that type of thing. And Univertical, with a U.S. National office base, does business in multiple countries around the world, and came to us looking for a upgrade and a redo of their site. And it's one of those situations where the previous site hadn't been updated in a number of years, and so it just looked dated because of that. And how widths have expanded, full width, larger monitors, how it looks on mobile device, all those things were not taken into consideration. So they needed to be with the new site. And we did that with a WordPress backend and set that up and then built tools on there so that they can update information. Again, visuals were key. They wanted to show some important things about their company. And we cover this on a blog post on digitalhill.com. If you go over to the blog, it's going to be the top post there that talks about a new multinational corporation website launched. And it's a powerful thing. If you can click there to go over to the Univertical site to see that. But they do global benchmarks of quality and everything they do. Manufacturing superior quality copper anodes and copper nickel chemicals for the worldwide planting industry. Okay, so they have a lot of things and technical things that they have to get across to communicate what their value is. So that's what's important with the website. That's what it can do, is to help people that are doing research, help companies that might want to work with them to dig in and find out a lot, kind of pre-qualify them ahead of time, because when we're talking about technical things, high purity anodes, copper bus bar, rods and shapes, copper chemicals at high purity, nickel chemicals at high purity. What does that mean? All these types of pieces there. And they dive into this. Now they've got the U.S. base in northeastern Indiana, also a office in China, and they're ISO registered. They have to talk about these different pieces there, the ISO registration, ROHS compliance, these types of pieces there. So we give them the ability to showcase that. We give them the ability to update those type of pieces. We give them training on how to use that, so that they're set to go with a modern, responsive website meeting today's standards that adjust depending on the device you're on, all powered by a WordPress backend. So it has different tools, plugins that can be added to it easily. So it's ready to go. Come over to digitalhill.com and you can see that now. The other thing I want to talk about is Twitter Spaces. And with Twitter Spaces, it's similar to Clubhouse. Okay, so just backing up a little bit, I talked a number of weeks ago about Clubhouse, which is a new audio-only social media app where you can have conversations and have an audience. So with Twitter Spaces, as opposed to this. So like right now, it's me sharing. Only ways I can interact with someone is if they comment by writing. Now I could have a couple people in here and do an interview, that type of thing. So think of a little bit like that without the video component. So Clubhouse launched and really gained traction in the last 6 months. Twitter saw that was happening and thought that they could make a pivot to also adjust to that themselves. And so they launched Twitter Spaces. And mostly available. I think some people may have it on desktop, but it's definitely available on the mobile app again, this has been rolling out, so I can't guarantee everybody has at this point in time, but it allows you, Twitter Spaces allows you to basically have a audio room where you can invite other people into chat and other people can listen in on that. And then you could invite them into the chat. And there's some emojis, things like that, so that they can give some responses, that type of piece. So Clubhouse gained some early traction as being audio only, first one to do that. Twitter has the advantage of people with lots of already having lots of followers and a base, because with Clubhouse you had to say, hey, I'm going live on Clubhouse at such and such a time. Come over there, make sure you have downloaded the app, make sure you're in the beta group that has access to it, and then you can join us there. And they had to broadcast that somewhere else, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, email. Twitter, obviously, you've got, I've got 11,000 followers, whatever, so I can communicate easily to them. And it's one stop click, and they can see that I'm actually live at the top. I wonder if I can show that. There's someone else. Yeah, it shows. Okay. All right. So right next to that, you see the mic, and it's got a purple around it there. That is the Twitter Spaces. So this is the area where you see, stories, but you can also see spaces. So it's got purple on, which means I'm live right now on Twitter Spaces. And that's the important kind of piece there. That's where you can kind of see who's live. Let's see, I've got anybody else doing spaces we can see, not right now. But again, it's not saved audio. It's just live audio. It's inviting people in. So it's kind of like think of it as maybe you're at a conference and and they have guest panels, right? And you've got 4 leading voices, 5 experts up there, maybe a moderator, that type of thing. And they're asking questions, they're having dialogue back and forth, and then take some questions from the audience. Okay, think of it like that for Twitter Spaces. So there's some possibilities. There's some interesting things about it, and you need to again see, can this work for my audience? My job is to let you know it's out there. Your job, and for your company, your business, your role is to say, is this relevant for those we're trying to connect with? You can help showcase some of your expertise. You can talk about products. You can talk about industry trends. You can do lots of different pieces in there. Now it's audio only. You're not going to be able to share a screen. You're not going to be able to see the people, which can be good in case, because I could get up right now on Twitter Spaces, walk around. I could be in my car. I could be outside, whatever. I'm good to go, just as long as I have some audio connection, data connection. Whereas with video here, obviously you got to be ready to go, be on camera, that type of piece. And again, there's value in that dialogue with others. You can get 4 or 5 experts in there together. You interact with those things. That can be valuable, because maybe you get their audiences in as well, so your audience grows overall to take a look at those kind of things. So Twitter Spaces, it's a piece of Twitter. It's like Clubhouse. I want to make sure you are aware of that, and you go into, let's see if I can make that better. Yeah, there you go. You go into the ad, you can see the ad button. You have this on your mobile device, and then you would allow that to set up. You get a screen and it says to stories first, but if you scroll over, then there's spaces, and you can select that. You go through a couple setup processes, click, quick, simple, easy, and you can go live. And it's a competitor to Clubhouse, which gained a lot of traction, but Twitter has the background of everybody that has fans and followers, and an easy way to communicate about I'm going live. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a competitor in there. Just experimenting with it, and so far so good. Like what I see there, and I like the emojis, those type of things. And I need to get some people in here to talk to me in the Twitter Spaces. So I wanted to let you know about that. Again, keeping you aware of these pieces. Facebook's supposed to be rolling out a version of this as well, so waiting for that to come. But right now, Clubhouse is the first out of the gate. Twitter Spaces pretty much next, with the benefit of your Twitter following already there. And that's what it is. Audio only, doesn't last afterwards. It's not recorded. So it's an opportunity to interact with that kind of guest group and talk, answer questions from the audience, invite the audience, someone in, get their feedback, that type of thing. So those are the keys that are happening in social media, digital marketing world. today, and go over and check out the latest on Digital Hill blog, and well, hopefully that's of value to you today. This was Mike with a Live with Mike. We'll see you again next time. Over.